I'm just going to wing it. Should it be something one says, should the Prime Minister have rebutted the proposal with, if they accept immigrants, the U.S. has to pay the country a monthly stipend, and Bahamians would be able to have an easier path to obtain resident or citizen status in the U.S. I know that's a lot to have to remember. I don't know why I can't get this to work. But with that said, we'll do what we can. This came with a link. Takes us to YouTube. So we'll watch the video. It's short. We'll watch it, and then we'll discuss it. It's called Bahamas Rejects Trump's Proposal to Accept Deported Third Country Migrants. So take a listen, and then we'll discuss it. What is that? You guys can't hear?
No, I could have
I
had
can
just
hear it.
now.
It says your screen. It shows us your screen at the bottom. Can you share your screen?
Let me shows my screen. Hold on. Let me see.
It says
I
Koku
added
screen.
it to screen. Okay, there it is. Sorry.
Yeah. There we
There
go.
it is. Okay.
Now we cooking.
God damn, this is what a night already. All right. We'll watch the video. We'll watch it's short. We'll watch the video and then we'll discuss.
All right.
All right, in other news, Bahamas has rejected a proposal from Donald Trump's upcoming administration to take in deported migrants, as the next president of the United States remains adamant on his stance to slash immigration in the U.S. Notably, Trump's team has carved out a list of countries to which it wants to deport migrants when their home countries refuse to accept them. NBC News has reported this, but the Bahamas, an island nation set in the Atlantic Ocean, said it had reviewed and firmly rejected the plan. Prime Minister Philip Davis's office said his government had received a proposal from the Trump transition team to accept deportation flights of migrants from other countries. Trump has always linked the rise in crime, security issues, and law and order concerns to the influx of immigrants in the U.S. During his election rally. Trump laid out a stark vision for his first days in office, if re-elected, with policy proposals hinged on mass deportations.
Okay. Again, bear with it, but the prompt says, should it be something number one, should the Prime Minister have rebutted the proposal with, if they, meaning the Bahamas, accepted immigrants, the U.S. has to pay the country a monthly stipend, and Bahamians would be able to have an easier path to obtain resident slash citizen status in the U.S. I'll start with Black Steel on this one. Black Steel, what are your thoughts?
So this is Donald J. Trump we're talking about. I wouldn't expect him to keep any deal that was made, especially with the majority black nation. So from what I'm understanding, people like anyone who's deported, who like from Mexico, and Mexico doesn't want them back, or the Philippines don't want them back, they can go. They send them to the Bahamas. Is that so? They're basically getting rid of the people who America doesn't want and their home country doesn't want. They're going to send them to the Bahamas, a
Yeah.
country they probably have no connection to. Um, yeah, I understand the Bahamas not wanting to make that deal, and not only that, but I would not expect Donald Trump to adhere or follow any type of arrangement he made. He's not an honest man. So there's no guarantee he's going to return the favor, do the right thing, as far as keeping that end of the bargain to help Bahamians get into the country or get work visas or whatnot. Um, America is really regressing, I believe. I think what we're seeing is going back to America's isolationist period, which took place before World War I. America wanted to stay out of world affairs. They didn't want to get involved in other entanglements. Immigration was very low. Immigrants are blamed for unnecessarily for many of the ills of the United States, such as crime, for example. Immigrants aren't more criminal than ordinary Americans. They actually tend to be less criminal. For example, immigrants don't take jobs; they work jobs that Americans wouldn't want to work in the first place. And immigrants pay taxes as well. So there's a lot of tax revenue that's coming in via immigration to this country. But because Donald Trump is a white supremacist, he's a white nationalist, he's going to blame the ills of the country on those people who are least able to defend themselves. And he's going to fall back on xenophobia, on racism, and everything possible to obscure the fact that America is a failed nation. So I don't blame the Bahamas for not taking that deal. Uh, it doesn't seem like a deal that will work in their benefit to me. If anything, I would expect him to double cross the Bahamian immigrants. Anybody coming to America right now as an immigrant is going to be pretty rough on you. People are going to get deported. I mean, mass deportations. He's literally apparently there's like 11 million undocumented people in the U.S. That's going to take every law enforcement agency, state police, local police, are all going to be focusing on removing these people from the country. And I'm going to tell you, a lot of people who are citizens are going to be removed too. So yeah, I don't think that was a good deal for the Bahamas. They were smart to reject it. I'll leave it there. Thank you.
I appreciate that, Black Seal. Yeah, I thought the audacity, like, why? But earlier, what made me kind of chuckle was, let me see if I could find it real quick. Anthony McPhail said to Buana in the chat, "What the vibes is." So, Buana, what's the vibes, boy?
I don't. Anthony learning Bahamian. He been listening to us too much. But the Donald Trump needs to understand that we are not the refuse, the garbage can of the world, where you could dump your undesirables in this country. And it's interesting why he chose the Bahamas, a very small country, when you have Canada at the north of him, where he does have a relationship with Trudeau, and Canada is underpopulated. Why don't you send your immigrants there? Or you could even send them to England. You could even send them to South America because they have relationships with presidents with much larger economies and a much larger land space. Why do you choose to send them in a small island called the Bahamas? There must be some intention behind what he's doing because on the face of it, I really never really look at the face of things. I look at the underlying thing for why something is actually really being done. Because he could have chosen many other countries. Why the Bahamas? That's the question I have. Another thing too is the Bahamian government right now is already struggling with immigration. We already take care of a whole lot of people, outside of Bahamians. We have already taken care of our own undocumented immigrants into this country, whether they Jamaicans, whether they Haitians, whether they Cubans, whether they Trinidadians. We already taking care of the Caribbean right now. So I don't understand why he wants to put that onus on us when we already take facilitating people. And to say that, oh, we gonna pay y'all, the 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 benefit doesn't outweigh what we're gonna have to deal with. Because you're sending immigrants here with people who may have issues as well. It's not just the money. You may be sending people who are criminally minded here. We have enough criminals here. In fact, when they deport Bahamian criminals back to these countries, they are already creating a bigger problem because a lot of the crimes they get into in these so-called first world country, they become sophisticated in their criminal activity. Imagine when they deport them here into these countries where we don't have enough facilities to defend ourselves. You're creating greater and greater and greater problems. It's enough times now, Coco, I seen a lot of people coming back with American accents. Some of them never lived in the Bahamas before. Some of them, their family members left when they were babies and they grew up in America. They know nothing about the Bahamas. I remember I was to this food restaurant the other day, and this guy walked up to me. He was asking me for $1. You know how to go? Asking me for money. And I say, man, what you do for a living? He said, I'm a rapper. I said, you a rapper? I'm like, bro, this country, we like soca, we like reggae, we like calypso. You can't make no money as a rapper in the Bahamas. I mean, he laughed and I laugh. Because it's like you misplaced. You're a grown man and you out of place, brother. You out of place. So I don't want I'm glad that the prime minister didn't necessarily just look at the money. There are other aspects of having large immigration into the country because you are creating a greater problem in your society, brother. That I don't think that the Bahamas is equipped to deal with at this time. Like I say, we are already taking care of many people. In terms of remittances, a lot of different countries they send our dollar to a lot of because our dollar is very strong and we send out a whole lot of money to Haiti and Jamaica and remittances and stuff like that. So I think that this will be a much greater problem. And I think that I'm glad that the prime minister, at least this time, decided not to just yield to great power and say, no, Mr. President, we can't allow that right now. No. And I'm glad he did that. So shout out to him for doing that. But I'll leave it there, Coco.
Yeah, absolutely, Buana. And I know that kind of story too with folks who would come back, young folks who would come back who were Americanized, as we used to say, and did something out here in the States, and then they come back and they're not really keyed into the culture and stuff like that. So I'm familiar with that. It also reminded me too, back in the I want to say late '60s, very early '70s. I don't know if Buana would remember learning this in school, but like the U.S. at one time wanted to dump some canisters of like a neurotoxin, some kind of neurotoxin that had these canisters that they wanted to dump in Bahamian waters, and this is before '73, so it was like Wallace Whitfield and them guys like, hell no, because America was saying like it's safe, don't worry about it. We'll just dump it in your waters, it'll sink to the bottom. And they was like, well, if it's so safe, dump it in your water. So
Dump
this,
it in your water. That's when our government had balls. So
yeah,
you're dealing with new crops of people now. You're dealing with new kind of crops of people, and they get very intimidated by power, especially greater powers like Americans and English and things of that nature. Um, our forefathers was kind of a little different, but these guys yield to power a lot. So I'm very critical of them. But when they actually do good, for the people of the Bahamas, I say, kudos to them.
Well, you had mentioned something about why Donald Trump would select the Bahamas and not Canada or Great Britain. The very
Yes,
fact,
sir. Yes,
the
sir.
very fact is he's a racist, right? So he sees black people as less than. Remember his comment about shithole countries back in his first term? So he said, in his mind, why would he inflict these immigrants on a fellow white country? Bahamas is a shithole country like the rest of the black countries. So he doesn't really give a damn about your national sovereignty or what's good for you guys. You should be lucky he's even talking to you. In his mind, that's how he sees it.
Crazy thing about it. Crazy thing about. Sorry for cutting you off, brother.
Yeah.
Crazy thing about it, though, Black Steel. Um, Donald Trump knows the Bahamas very well. He used to do a lot of business in the Bahamas, especially with the hotels here in the 80s and 90s. He did a whole lot of business in the Bahamas. His business wasn't successful because he had to pull out, but he knows about the Bahamas. So I'm saying that is the connection. This is before he was even into politics. But like you say, he does think that these places are shithole countries, But send them back to their shithole country. Then send them back to their respective countries. Don't send them here. This is not the garbage dump for the world. You know what I mean? Don't send them here, man. We got our own problems, man. But
Agreed, but yeah, in his mind, that's exactly why he's not sending them back. Because you're lucky America's even talking to you in his sick, demented mind.
In the chat, Marie Shy says, "Why should the Bahamas have to take in migrants?" Shaking my head.
shout out to Marie. Marie is a good sister. Coco, I don't know if you ever spoke to her before. She's a very brilliant lady. Marie, if you have some time, click the link. Come converse with your brothers. We go easy here. We don't go hard. So if you're interested, click the link and have a conversation with our sister.
Yeah, for real. Thanks for that, Buana. KW Don 7 says Canada is full. We have enough East Indians as it is. So that's KW Don's take on it. Jose, just something Buana was talking about. He says 100% Cape Verde is dealing with deported American youth that don't even speak the language. Then he says greetings to everyone. Lastly, Marisha says exactly, send them to their countries. I'm not trying to be mean. I feel like I've seen Marisha around before. So yeah, you're welcome to join us. Just like our brother right here has answered the call and he's come up. Let's say what's up to Jose this week. Jose, how are you?
Good, good night, good evening, good morning. I'm okay. I'm okay. How are you? Hello.
I'm good, Jose. My mic is muted when you guys are talking, so my bad on that. But yeah, I'm good. Thanks for coming through.
Okay. Yeah. I actually was speaking about Cape Verdeans. So Cape Verdeans, exactly what you said. They arrive young, or maybe even as baby, or they are birthright Cape Verdeans. People that deliberately had their babies over there or whatever, but I call them American youth because they are not Cape Verdean. Okay, they have Cape Verdean blood running in their veins, but they are everything but Cape Verdean when they arrive there. They are the gang members, stick up kids. I had one friend, a rapper, and he had performed there, and he was chatting with a couple of guys. He thought, right, and they thought he didn't speak English. They thought, okay, he's from the Netherlands, Scandinavia, or whatever. That's what I hear also often. When yeah, I'm sorry, when Americans speak, and they think you don't speak English. So they were negotiating about how they were going to rob him. So it's there's a lot of crime, gang violence, and stick up a kid type of shit happening there, and it's a lot. Most of it, let me put it that way, most of it is Cape Verdean youth sent back. So yeah, I need to talk to an FBA to explain what to do. But yeah, that's a joke. That's a joke. But yeah.
I appreciate that, Jose. Thanks for coming through and hanging with us tonight. Marie Sky says, I'm going to tune in more. What days does this channel go live? Right now, these days, I only go live on Saturdays. So we do Shoot the Breeze, which is what this segment is called, Saturday Night Shoot the Breeze. We do it every Saturday night, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So check us out every Saturday here. One is Marie Shai, the sister who was on with you and Kofi on his channel. one time?
No.
Oh,
Marie Shy, no. She's another she's another sister. This is someone different. Yeah,
okay,
still a brilliant sister though.
okay. Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in, Marie Shai, and hopefully you'll join us when you feel better in the future. Let's go to Shooter Breeze number 2. And I realized why I couldn't get the titles for Shoot the Breeze topic number 1 up. It was too long. Because Shoot the Breeze topic number 2 is much shorter as a sentence, and there it is, easy peasy on the screen.